All right, buckle up, everyone. Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're going all in on the PlayStation 5 Pro. It just dropped, like, what, November 7th?
Yeah, just hit North America.
So new. It's practically still warm from the factory. And you guys, you know, you always come through with the clutch reviews. We got a whole stack of them. But there's this, like, elephant in the room.
Oh, yeah.
$700. That's a lot of dough.
More than double that PS5 Slim.
Our listeners, they're savvy.
Yeah.
They want the facts, no BS.
Absolutely. Value's got to be there.
So, is the Pro really worth it? Is this an upgrade you actually need? That's what we're going to figure out.
Let's dive in.
Okay, first impression, right out the gate. That 2TD SSD. Music to my ears.
Oh, for sure.
I am notorious for having like a gazillion games installed. Hate deleting stuff.
I feel that. Storage is a pain.
So just having that space, chef's kiss.
Right. And games are only getting bigger.
No kidding.
So that extra storage, huge for people. But it's not just about, how much you can store.
Hit me with it. What else we got?
Pro's got a serious graphics boost, way more power under the hood.
I saw that, something like 16.7 teraflops.
You got it.
Sounds like a lot, but honestly, I'm kind of lost. What does that even mean for, what I'm actually playing?
Good question. Think of teraflops like horsepower, but for your graphics card.
Okay.
More teraflops, more muscle. It can handle way more complex visuals, higher resolutions, smoother frame rates, all that good stuff.
So like smoother, prettier games.
Exactly. And it enables things like ray tracing, which
Ray tracing, yeah.
makes lighting and reflections crazy realistic.
Oh, I've seen that. It's gorgeous.
Right. So you're getting a lot more graphical oomph.
All right, I'm following you.
Yeah.
But then there's this other thing I kept seeing. PlayStation Spectral Super Resolution, or PSSR. Is that like alphabet soup?
Nah, it's actually pretty cool. PSSR, that's Sony's fancy upscaling tech.
Upscale it.
Yeah, so imagine taking a lower res image and magically boosting it to 4K. But it's not just stretching the pixels, it uses algorithms to intelligently fill in the details. So you get that crisp 4K look without sacrificing performance.
So it's not just about raw power then.
Not anymore.
It's like working smarter, not harder.
Exactly. PSSR lets you have both. Stunning visuals and smooth frame rates.
Best of both worlds, huh? Okay, starting to see the appeal here. More storage, beefier graphics, and this super smart upscaling sounds like a recipe for gaming bliss, but the real test, right, is how it actually plays out in games.
Oh, for sure. The rubber meets the road, right?
So let's get down to brass tacks. I know everyone's hyped for Spider-Man 2.
Big one, yeah?
What's the Pro experience like for that?
Well, Insomniac, they gave us some options. There's this Performance Pro mode, same visual quality as the base PS5's Fidelity mode, but at a buttery smooth 60 frames per second.
Oh, so you get the good looks and the smooth moves. I like it.
Right. But then there's Fidelity Pro mode.
Oh, there's always a but.
And this is where it gets wild. They cranked up all the visual settings, ray-traced ambient occlusion, better shadows, even more realistic reflections.
I love ray tracing on everything.
Pretty much. They went all out. It's seriously impressive.
Sounds beautiful, but
Yeah.
there's got to be a trade-off, right?
Yep. All that beauty, it comes at a cost. Fidelity Pro locks the frame rate back down to 30.
Nah, the age-old dilemma.
Yeah.
Beauty or speed.
Huh.
I guess it depends what you value more. Some people, they got to have those silky smooth frame rates.
For sure.
Others, they're all about the eye candy.
Yeah, it's personal preference.
All right, what about Horizon Forbidden West? I mean, that game's already a stunner. Curious to see what the Pro does for it.
Interesting thing with Horizon is it doesn't actually change the modes. You still got favor graphics, balanced, and favor performance, but it makes each one significantly better.
So what, they just supercharged them?
Exactly. The favor performance mode on the Pro, that's the star here, holds a solid 60 frames per second, but get this. It actually looks better than the base PS5's graphics mode.
Wait, hold on. Better and smoother? How's that even possible?
That's the magic of PSSR at work. It's letting developers push boundaries we haven't seen before.
Okay, starting to understand why people are freaking out about this tech. But, got to be real, right? We have to circle back to that price tag.
Right.
$700. Is the PS5 Pro really worth that much?
$1 million question. And honestly, there's no easy answer. It all boils down to you. Your priorities, how you play games.
So, what are the big things someone should think about before taking the plunge?
Well, first off, budget. $700, that's not chump change. Got to make sure you're getting your money's worth. If you're someone who really cares about frame rates, got to have that super smooth experience. then yeah, the Pro's a big step up. But if you're more about those like crazy detailed visuals, don't mind a little less smoothness, you might not see as much of a difference. It's like choosing between two amazing desserts. Both delicious, but you gotta pick one.
I feel that.
Uh,
So budget's key, but what else should people consider?
Think about the games you play. If you're all about those titles that got the Pro treatment, you'll see the biggest benefits. But if you're mostly playing older stuff or games that haven't been optimized, you might not notice a huge difference.
So it's all about finding that sweet spot, right?
Yeah.
Where your gaming style matches up with what the Pro can do. It's like, getting a sports car.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome to have all that horsepower, but if you're stuck in city traffic all the time...
Not going to see its full potential.
Exactly.
And speaking of potential,
Hit me.
this whole PS5 Pro thing, it's not just about this one console. It's about where gaming's headed.
Ooh, okay, I'm listening.
For years, it was all about raw power, right? More teraflops, faster processors, all that.
Yeah, bigger, better, faster.
But now with tech like PSSR, we're seeing a shift. It's not just about brute force anymore. It's about like smart software that makes the experience better without needing a supercomputer.
So are we saying raw power doesn't matter anymore?
Not exactly. It's not the only thing. We're moving into this era where software and hardware, they work together to create these amazing experiences.
Okay, yeah, I could see that.
And that's exciting. Opens up so many possibilities for developers.
It's almost like the lines between console generations are getting blurry, right?
Oh, sure.
And the PS5 Pro is right at the front of that.
Absolutely. It's a premium device, but it shows what this new approach can do.
Might not be for everyone, but definitely something to keep an eye on.
For sure.
So if you're the kind of gamer who's always going to have the latest and greatest,
Yeah.
wants the best possible experience, and you're hyped about where gaming's going, the PS5 Pro might be your jam.
Could be.
But if you're happy with what you got or you're watching your budget,
Totally valid.
no shame in sticking with your current setup.
Exactly.
The most important thing is to make the choice that works for you.
100%.
And hey, we're here to help you do that.
That's what we do.
We've covered a lot today. Specs, performance, the big picture.
Yeah.
But in the end, to upgrade or not, that's your call.
Your game. Your choice.
We gave you the info, the insights, the context.
Now you gotta weigh it all out.
Pros and cons. Decide if the PS5 Pro fits your gaming life.
Right.
And hey, no matter what you decide,
We'll be here.
we're going to keep you in the loop on all things gaming.
Always.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the PS5 Pro.
It's been a blast. It's kind of like, those choose your own adventure books?
Oh yeah, I love those.
You get to decide which path you want to take.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
So budget's a big one, but what else should folks keep in mind?
Well, like I was saying before, the games you play, like if you're all about those titles that, got the full pro treatment, you're going to see the biggest difference. But if you're mostly playing like older games or games that haven't been, specifically optimized for the pro,
Right.
you might not notice as much.
So finding that sweet spot where your gaming habits and the pros, like superpowers, they line up.
Exactly. It's like, okay, I'll stick with the car analogy.
Oh, I like where this is going.
It's like you could have this, super tricked out top of the line race car. But if you're only ever driving to the grocery store and back,
You're not going to see what it can really do.
exactly, you're not getting the full experience.
Makes sense. Okay, so we've talked about, the practical stuff, the games, the price. But I think there's a bigger conversation here, right?
Oh, absolutely.
About what this all means for, like, the future of gaming.
That's what I'm excited about.
Yeah, tell me more.
Well, think about it. For the longest time, it was all about, like, who's got the biggest, baddest hardware.
Yeah, the console arms race.
More teraflops, more RAM, faster processors.
Gotta have the most powerful machine.
And every new console generation, it was this huge leap forward.
Oh, yeah.
Graphics would get, like, insanely better.
Right, like night and day.
But now with PSSR, with DLSS, it's like we're hitting this point where just throwing more power at the problem isn't the only solution.
Interesting. So it's not just about brute force anymore.
Exactly. It's
Yeah.
about working smarter, using software to enhance the experience without, needing a supercomputer under your TV.
So the hardware is becoming less of a bottleneck.
In a way, yeah. And that opens up a whole new world of possibilities.
For developers, for gamers.
For everyone. Like, imagine console generations could last longer, right?
Ooh, yeah.
If software can bridge the gap, maybe we don't need a brand new box every few years.
That would be a game changer.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah.
So the PS5 Pro, it's kind of like a sneak peek into that future, huh?
Totally. It's a glimpse of what this new approach can do.
And for gamers, that's pretty exciting.
It's wild, right? I mean, who knows what's next?
Yeah, where does it go from here?
Maybe games with, like, photorealistic graphics running at 120 frames per second. Or, totally new genres of games that take advantage of this new paradigm. It's like the possibilities are endless.
It's like we're standing at the edge of, like, uncharted territory.
Right.
No idea what's out there, but it's going to be amazing. The future of gaming, I mean.
I'm hyped for it.
Me too. So as we kind of wrap up this part of our deep dive into the PS5 Pro, I think the big takeaway is don't get too lost in the, like, spec sheet and all the hype.
Right.
Focus on what really matters.
Which is?
The games.
Yeah.
The experiences. The joy of exploring new worlds, going on these crazy adventures.
That's the heart of it.
That's what gaming is all about.
Couldn't agree more.
Man, after all that, I got to say, I'm kind of torn myself. Like, part of me is ready to, jump in, get my hands on that Pro, experience all that power. But then there's the other part of me, the practical side, that's like, hold up, do you really need this?
Yeah. Yeah, I think a lot of people are wrestling with that same question. And, this whole PS5 Pro thing, it goes beyond just this one console, right? It's like it's sparking this bigger conversation about where gaming is going.
Okay, yeah, I'm curious. What do you mean?
Well, for years, it was all about the hardware.
Right. Bigger, better, faster.
More teraflops, more RAM, faster processors. It was this constant race to, like, push the limits of what hardware could do.
Yeah, I remember. Every new console generation, it was like a quantum leap in graphics and performance.
Exactly. But now with technologies like PSSR and DLSS, it's like we're hitting this point where just throwing more power at the problem isn't the only solution.
Interesting. So it's not just about brute force anymore.
Exactly. It's about working smarter, not harder. Using intelligent software to enhance the experience without needing, like, a supercomputer in your living room.
So are we saying that raw power is becoming less important?
Not exactly. It's not the only thing anymore. We're moving into this era where software and hardware, they work together to create these, like, really amazing, immersive experiences.
Yeah, I can definitely see that.
And that's exciting, right? Because it opens up all these new possibilities for developers.
And for gamers, too, I'd imagine.
Oh, absolutely. Like, think about it. Console generations could potentially last longer.
Oh, yeah.
If software can bridge the gap between generations, maybe we don't need a brand new console every few years.
That'd be huge.
Right. And that's why the PS5 Pro is so interesting. It's like this little window into what the future of gaming might look like. A future where software innovation plays a much bigger role and where the focus shifts from, like, just raw power to, like, intelligent design and, creating these truly immersive experiences.
And that's a pretty exciting future to be a part of, right?
Oh, it's wild. I mean, who knows what's next? Games with, like, photorealistic graphics at 120 frames per second, or maybe even, like, entirely new genres of games that we can't even imagine yet.
It's like we're on the verge of something really special.
I think so.
It's like we're explorers setting out into uncharted territory.
Right. The possibilities are endless.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into the PS5 Pro, I think the biggest takeaway is don't get too caught up in the specs, the teraflops, all the hype. Focus on what truly matters, which is the games.
Exactly.
The experiences.
Yeah.
The joy of, exploring new worlds, going on adventures.
That's what it's all about.
That's the heart of gaming. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the PS5 Pro.
It's been a pleasure.
We'll catch you next time.